Knowing your way around the fretboard gives you the freedom to come out of the comfort zone that may be the one position you know. Do you feel like you are stuck using the same old faithful shape? Would you like to stretch out and discover the rest of the fretboard? Well, keep watching, because in this series we will help you to demystify the fretboard so you can play anywhere on the guitar. Like giving you a magical plane ticket that lets you go anywhere in the world so you can explore the wonders beyond your local Tesco's and local shopping mall. Let's get started. So a tiny bit of theory first. The minor pentatonic scale is a 5-note scale. Be aware there is also a major pentatonic scale. They are related, but we're not going to look at that today. We're going to stick to the key of A minor because A minor is the key that guitarists love to start with. We love A minor. At a later point, you might want to try these shapes in a different key. But we're going to start with A minor. Let's get comfortable with A minor first, and then we can think about moving this into another key. So we're going to start on the low E string, and we're going to play these 5 notes. So we're going to start on the A note, which is on the low E string, 5th fret. Then we're going to move up to the 8th fret. 10, 12, 15. And then we're going to go back to the root note, which is here at the 17th fret. So that is 5 notes. You could just take those 5 notes and play. You can improvise a solo with those 5 notes. But we're going to go beyond that. So the reason I'm showing you that is because these 5 notes that we just played, they're going to be the first note of each of the positions that we're going to play. So you should see on your screen a scale diagram which shows you where to put your fingers. This shows you all the notes at once, so you can kind of see the shape that it forms. Okay, it's good to get this in your head. It's a good way of visualizing it. You'll notice there's a couple of them which have like a red ring around it. Those are your root notes. So we're in the key of A minor, so our root note is A. So all of those are your A notes, which at a later point will become quite useful. So keep that in mind. It's good to know which notes you are playing when you are playing whatever scale. So position 1. This is the one you probably already know. This is your old faithful. This is the one that you come back to. Probably the one that you're trying to stretch out of and go further out. So in case you don't know it, let's look at this. So it's going to be 2 notes per string. All of these are going to be 2 notes per string. We're not going to look at the 3 note per string versions. We're going to keep it simple. Just stick to the cage system version of these scale shapes. So 2 notes per string. I like to split these into what I call long ones and short ones, which I will explain to you in a second. But everything that we're going to do is going to be long ones or short ones. So starting on the 5th fret of the low E string, we're going to start with a long one. And what that means, it's the distance between the first note on that string and the second note on that string. So this is a long one. So it's 5 to 8, 5th fret to 8th fret. And that's a long one. So you've got a gap of 2 frets in between your fingers there. The next string is a short one. That's between 5 and 7. Okay, with a gap of 1 fret in between your 2 fingers. Next 2 strings are also short ones. And then the last 2 are long ones. Okay, so that's a reasonably straightforward one. That's everything on the left-hand side of the scale is just kind of barring across the 5th fret. So everything's going to start on this 5th fret. You wouldn't play it like that. I'm just showing this to demonstrate. So I just want to quickly talk about the right hand for a second. I'm assuming you're using a pick. And this isn't really the main focus of the lesson. So if this next bit makes it a bit hard to learn these shapes, just forget about this for the moment. But it's a good habit to get into just in general. But as I said, if this makes it a bit harder for you to learn, come back to it at another time. You don't need to learn this right now. This doesn't affect the scale shapes that we're going to look at. But it's a good idea to, because we're doing 2 notes per string, to pick down and then up. So we're alternate picking, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, just a quick note, not the main focus of the lesson, as I said, so if you do find that a bit more too much to take on right now, just forget that for the moment, come back to it another time. It's another lesson anyway. Alright, position 2. This one arguably is the hardest one, and when I say the hardest, I don't mean it's hard, but it's probably the trickiest out of all of them. But that, as I said, just takes a little bit more getting used to than the others, but it's not like horribly difficult. Again, 2 notes per string, and we're going to start on the 2nd note of the scale, so we said that was at the 8th fret of the low E string. So we're going to start with a short one, and the next string is going to be a long one, but we're going to start 1 fret back. Okay, so short one, long one, another long one. So far we got this. You might also know this as the intro to My Girl by The Temptations. So, short one, 2 long ones. Next one's a short one, starting at the same fret. And the last 2 are also short ones, but starting a fret higher, back at the 8th fret. So altogether we have this. Alright, so let's look at the 3rd position. 3rd position is going to start at the 10th fret, and we're going to start with 3 short ones, all in a row. Then we're going to have a long one, but it's going to start 1 fret back. Another long one, back at the 10th fret. And then a short one. So all together. That seems to be a favourite of Mark Knopfler. When I used to watch some of his live videos and try and copy what he was doing, especially in songs like You and Your Friend. Check out You and Your Friend, the live version of that. The one from the early 90s is really good, from the On Every Street tour. It's just a beautiful guitar playing from Mark Knopfler, and also Paul Franklin on slide guitar, pedal steel guitar. It's really amazing stuff. But Mark Knopfler tends to be in that position a lot, in this 4th position. Sorry, 3rd position. So position 4, we're going to be at the 12th fret. This one's quite similar to position 1. You'll see some similarities, and it starts at the 12th fret, and we're going to have to start with 2 long ones. Then we're going to have 2 short ones, and then another short one, but starting 1 fret higher, 13 to 15 on the B string. And lastly, a long one starting back at the 12th fret, 12 to 15. Okay, so all that together. So position 5, this is a fun one. It's kind of symmetrical about the middle of the strings. That will become apparent in a minute, I hope. But we're going to be starting at the 15th fret. If you happen to be playing maybe like an acoustic guitar, where getting to the 15th fret is really difficult, you can also play this at the 3rd fret, which is just an octave lower. We're going to start with 2 short ones. Okay, then we're going to move on to the D string. And we're going to have 2 long ones, but starting 1 fret back. And then 2 short ones again, but back up at the 15th fret, or 3rd fret if you're down here. And that's all 5 positions, but that brings us back to position 1 again, but an octave up. So if you have a guitar where you can reach up to your 17th, 18th, 19th fret, 17th fret, you can just play position 1 again up here, an octave higher. And theoretically you can keep going. If there were enough frets, you could just do this for another octave all the way up. So let's talk about how to practice this. Start with the first one, and just do these one by one. Take the position 1 and just play through it. And when you get to the end, when you get to this last note here, as you come down, I like to play this again on the way back down. You're essentially playing it twice. It will flow a bit nicely if you're kind of trying to play this in time. I'll show you. So if you play this the way I just said it, where you play each end twice, you get this. If you don't do that, then you get this. You get some really odd time feel when you practice this. If you're playing it round and round, you get a really odd time kind of feel. Which is fine. That might help with your odd time sensibilities. So my suggestion is just that, a suggestion. Just to make it kind of feel a bit easier when you're playing it. One little point. I played this last note here with my little finger. But you may have seen earlier on, I've also played it with my third finger. So I actually like to use my third finger there because it allows me, if in the case I want to bend when I'm improvising, it allows me to bend with my third finger, which is a stronger finger than my little finger. You can still do it. But yeah, it wasn't as clean as using my third finger, which I'm a bit stronger with when it comes to bending. Shout out to Martin Goulding, who taught me that. Are any positions better than other positions? Not really. However, I would prioritise position 1 and 4. So probably one reason you're watching this video is because maybe you've learnt position 1 already, and that's all you know. You can't really play outside that position, not comfortably anyway. Position 4 is far enough away where it's in a different positions. It's not too close to that, so you get this sense of coverage where you're covering 2 different regions of the guitar. So you're playing kind of low here and then kind of high up here, and also you've got the octave up as well. So once you've got those 2, then you can just fill in the gaps between them with the other positions, with the other scale shapes, and then kind of build your empire that way. And by the time you're done, you will be able to play A minor pentatonic everywhere on the guitar. So there are the 5 positions of the A minor pentatonic scale. If you found that useful, please give this video a like. Feel free to ask any questions you have in the comments section below, and I'll do my best to give you a good answer. Or just let me know what you thought. I'd be interested to know if you already know these scale shapes, and if there are any differences in how you learnt them. In the next episode, we will look at some exercises to help embed these scale shapes into your head and into your fingers. So hit subscribe for that, and for other lessons to help demystify the guitar, as well as gear reviews and song breakdowns. Thanks for watching.